I just walked in the door after a crazy long day, and I realized I feel like this everywhere, and it's time for a reset. Most importantly, for this situation. So let's see what happens. Hi everyone, welcome to practice. Thank you for joining me tonight. We are going to focus on pushing the reset button. So if you've had a day filled with anxiety and worry and frenzy and overwhelm and activities beyond belief, and you are looking to challenge and change all of that energy flow into something more positive, then this practice is for you. So please join me on your mat. We will begin in Sukhasana, easy seated posture. So as you begin to settle into your first yoga pose in this practice, close your eyes softly and begin to become aware of your breath. It is very common to begin a yoga practice regardless of the intention or focal point with our breath. This is the first way that we begin to connect to ourselves and to become present. And as you continue to become aware of your breath, relax your shoulders down away from your ears. Find a pleasant weight of your hands on your thighs or knees, and find that the areas of your body that touch the earth are perfectly positioned and comfortable. We're going to practice a breathwork technique called Sama Vriti. It means equal fluctuations, and we are going to utilize this by matching our inhales and our exhales. So keep your eyes closed if that's comfortable for you. I recommend it. And on my count, we will inhale and exhale together. You can choose to inhale through your nose and out through your mouth, or inhale through your nose and back out through your nose. Let's begin. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. 4 counts now. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Return to your normal breathing. Notice the difference. Notice the difference in how you feel after we did that breath work. If you feel more settled and more prepared to continue our reset. From here, you can open your eyes softly. We're going to do a very soft side stretch. So from your comfortable seated posture, lifting out of the waist, place your right hand on the ground beside you and stretch your left arm up. So lifting again out of the waist, stretching over that right side, lifting and stretching that left side body, shoulders away from the ears, breathing here. One more breath. Exhale slowly back to center, arms on either side. Beautiful. Let's do the other side. So left hand to the left side, right arm goes up, lifting and stretching out of the waist, over, stretching over that left side, shoulders down away from the ears, breathing here. One more deep breath. Bringing it back to center. Beautiful. From here, we're going to move into our cat-cow posture. So cat-cow is, first actually we're moving into tabletop, and from there we go into cat-cow. So our tabletop posture, you'll find yourself leveraging your palms and your knees to hold you on the ground, and your hands will be beneath your shoulders and your knees beneath your hips. And as you find your alignment here, it's important to remember that you should have a nice long spine, not a overly arched or tucked lower back, and that your collarbone should be broad as you lengthen out the neck, really keeping that neutrality in the spine. So as we begin, we will move first into our cow posture. Belly down, arch the back, chin to the sky. Inhale. And exhale, round the spine into that Halloween cat. And inhale, cow pose. And exhale, cat. I say Halloween cat all year. No, it's maybe an October thing. So let's keep going on your own breath. 2 more. Keep the breath going. Allow the movement to follow the breath. That alignment is a critical part of our reset. And back to a neutral position. So from this neutral position, I want you to take a moment and activate your outer upper arms as well as your outer hips while you're in your tabletop position. I'm going to change positions to give you a little bit of a different angle. So the most critical parts here are your outer upper arms. So if you can see, you're actually rotating them toward your body. And this is actually, like in plank pose and downward dog as well, what stabilizes your upper back and your arms and allows you to not dump that weight into the shoulders, which can be very dangerous. This is a critical element of many postures that have weight bearing on the hands. The other critical piece that you want to note here is that you have your glute med, which is right here, a small muscle, and it needs to work a lot. Mine's very weak. We use this a lot as well. This is going to squeeze in, so both your outer hip muscles will be squeezing in. So what we're going to do from our neutral, slightly more relaxed tabletop position is we're going to activate those outer upper arms and those glutes on either side of the glute med. So activate and then release. Keep your spine neutral. Activate and then release. Let's do one more. Activate and release. Beautiful. From here, we're going to move into child's pose. As you find yourself in child's pose, know that this is always available to you, morning, noon, or night, yoga mat or not, and this is considered a resetting posture. Breathe here. Let's do 2 more breaths. And 1 more. And when you're ready, using your core and lifting yourself back up through your tabletop position, coming up onto your tiptoes, pulling your knees up to the ground, and then hips to the sky, downward dog. Find yourself here in our first downward dog, and we remember that external rotation of the outer upper arms that we were just talking about in our tabletop. You can pedal the legs, get a little bit of dynamic movement in there, but keep those palms all touching the floor, those outer upper arms rotated in. Feel that strength in the upper back, long spine, all these things happening at the same time, and yet bringing us into come to stillness. We're now still here in our downward dog for a breath. Inhale. And exhale. Knees don't have to be straight. Mine are always bent. Inhale, 1 more. And exhale. Now we're going to float through to plank. So remember that external rotation of the outer upper arm. So flowing through to your plank pose. Your arms should be in about right position. And then back up to downward dog. So inhale. Going through and exhale back to downward dog. Let's do 2 more like that. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Inhale, nice and strong. And exhale, downward dog. Beautiful. So from here, lift your right leg up. And step your foot forward between your palms. And you're going to come up to your warrior one. So you're going to have your feet on hips width distance. And as you come up, continue to make sure you're strengthening in your foundation. Front knee is over your front ankle. Your back knee is straight and your foot is slightly tilted out toward the outer side of your mat. Inhale here. Let's do one more. Inhale. And exhale. Bring your hands to heart center. We're going to move to the front of the mat. Bringing left to the next to your right foot and move into a chair pose. So when you're ready, tilt your foot out so that you're in a crescent lunge and bring it forward, chair pose. We're going to stay here for a moment. Your feet can be hips width distance or closer. What's critical here is that you have a very neutral spine. So you don't want to be overly tucking your pelvis or creating an arch by tilting it back. It's really, really neutral. Using these glute med muscles, squeezing in like we were doing in our tabletop position. Arms can be in prayer or they can be up. If they're up, you have that external rotation of the outer upper arms. Keep breathing. Make sure you can see your toes. Do one more deep inhale here. And exhale, forward fold. And inhale, halfway lift. And exhale down, Chaturanga Dandasana. You can do this on your knees and go to Cobra pose. Or if you're ready for full upward dog, go for it. Exhale, downward dog. Let's take one clarifying breath here together. We're going to inhale and then exhale through the mouth. Inhale. Exhale. Left foot up. And put your left foot between your palms. We're coming up into warrior one. Feet or hips width distance apart. And as you bring up, nice strong foundation. Front knee is over the front ankle. Back knee is straight with your foot pitched out slightly to the outside of your mat. You're working to square the hips forward. This is kind of a crookedy situation here for your hips, so they might not be going forward, but you want to work toward going forward. What is critical, though, is that your torso is forward. See if you can feel as you move that toward the front. You can even use your hands to move that forward. Let's take one more breath here. Exhale, hands to heart center. And again, moving into chair pose. So pivot your foot so you're in a crescent lunge legs, and then when you're ready, come up to your chair pose. Beautiful. Couple breaths here in your chair pose, looking for that neutral spine alignment, making sure you can see your toes, squeezing all the time. And inhale, one more. Drop an inch lower. One more breath. And let it go. Beautiful. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale down. Chaturanga Dandasana. Up to your Cobra pose. And back to downward dog. Very nice. Nice deep breath. Now we're going to move into lizard pose. So right leg goes up. And move forward between your palms. You can leave your hands on either side of your foot for the moment. Critical piece here is not a lot of weight in the hands, so you're not dumping the weight down. Pulling yourself up. Moving your foot now to the right, heel toe, so that both hands are inside your arm, inside your leg. And you can choose to put your knee down and come up on a block or on your elbows or forearms, or you can keep your leg up. And really stretching out that left hip flexor as we come down into this lizard pose. Keep breathing here. You can activate your Ujjayi breath or continue to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Really stretching that left hip flexor, but knowing where your limits are. Find your edge for the day. And one more breath here. And exhale out. And on your next inhale, come back up if you had put your knee down and move your hand back to the outside so that your right foot is between your palms. Really strengthen and energize those outer hips, and then when you're ready, right foot meets left, plank pose. From here, hold your plank 3 seconds. Breaths. 3 breaths. 1. I'll do it with you. It's challenging. 2. No joke. Outer upper arms in. 1 more breath. 3. And beautiful. Let's go down to a child's pose. Reset. See how we're utilizing our child's pose between challenging postures to tell us it's okay to take a moment between. 1 more breath here. When you're ready, come back up. through your tabletop and lifting your hips to the sky, downward dog. So from this downward dog, we're now going to move into lizard on the other side. So lift your left leg up, place your leg between your palms for now, squeezing those outer hips in, pulling that weight out of your arms so you can feel the strength in your foundation and legs, and then heel toe your left foot out, bring your left palm inside your left leg, and move into your lizard. In lizard pose, it's okay if your knee is a little bit past your ankle, which is kind of different from our standing postures, and you can choose to bend your right knee and put your leg down. Hands can be palms on the ground, hands to blocks, forearms on the ground, whatever is comfortable and accessible for you. Feeling that stretch in that right hip flexor. Should feel pretty fantastic for our bodies, but know where your limits are. That's another critical part about a reset, is knowing when you need it. So knowing when to say I'm at the edge is perfectly acceptable and encouraged, and part of having a strong practice. One more breath here. And on your next exhale, prepare to move your left foot back to meet the right, plank pose. We'll just hold for a breath here. Inhale. And exhale, lifting your hips to your sky, into the sky. Downward dog. Let's take one clarifying breath here together. Exhale. On your inhale, look forward between your palms, hop, step, or float. You're going to come and find yourself. Maybe you can pass all the way through and come down to a seated position. So now here in our seated posture, we're going to go into staff pose. So legs are going to be super energized here, and your toes are facing the sky, lifting out of the waist, shoulders away from the ears, chins parallel to the floor. Hands are next. I typically do cupcake fingers, creepy hands they call them, next to me on either side, and it's really it's not a passive posture at all. It's really length, rooting down through the seat, finding all the places that contact the ground, being strongly fixed with kind of air in between those other places. So keep breathing here. Nice and strong. Let's do one more breath. Beautiful. So relax the legs, kind of shake them out a little bit, let them know, good job. That was a lot of strong engagement of the legs. I'm going to move into Janu Sirsasana. So extend your left leg forward and bring your right sole of your foot to your left thigh, kind of like you're in tree pose, seated tree pose. So from here, lifting out of the waist, keeping your sits bones on the ground, arms go up and stretch forward over that left leg. Now we're lengthening out of the lower back, so the goal is not to fold flat on the floor and pop your butt up in the air. The goal is to have a long spine, which means you might not go that far forward. This is my limit for the day. Find your limit, become okay with it, allow the reset, take a deep breath. Let's do one more together. And when you're ready, lift yourself up. I'm going to do a little bit of a fun counter posture. I love this, a little bit of chest opening. So right palm to the right side of your body, and stretch yourself up off the ground all the way up. Really open up the chest, open up the shoulders, nice long neck. Breath here. And come back down. It's one of my favorites. So let's switch to the other side. So right leg extends out, seated tree on the left. Nice long engaged leg, lifting out of the waist, sits bones stay on the floor, arms up, inhale, and exhale, forward fold. Beautiful. It's okay to have your knee bent a little bit here. The key is really keeping those sits bones down and lifting out of the waist and having a nice long spine. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do one more here for good measure. Inhale. And exhale. And when you're ready, come all the way up. And let's do that counter posture. So this time your left hand is going out towards your left knee and you're lifting all the way up through that side body, opening up the chest. reaching, extending, and taking up space in the world. And calm back down. Beautiful. So turn sideways on your mat if you were not already, and we're going to move into a boat pose, Navasana. So boat pose, key is, again, there's a lot of strength coming from your glute med and your outer hips, from your core, and really keeping the chest open as you keep your sits bones on the floor. That's the key. And I've noticed for me that I've really been actually falling a little bit too far back when I've been doing my boat pose. So I'm going to try to do one with a really open chest and make sure my legs only go as far as where my limits are today. So as you prepare, sits bones again down, open chest broad, and really keeping that straight long spine. So chest open, and that's where I'm at today. This is exactly where I'm supposed to be. Take a couple breaths here. If you're comfortable and you're able to keep your chest open and your spine long, you can move up and straighten your legs. That's not me today. Take one more breath here. And exhale. And then bring your knees in. Give them a nice hug. And we're going to go ahead and lower down to our backs as we prepare to move into our final posture. So if you want to move from boat pose, come down a couple seconds, or just roll on down, whatever you're comfortable with. Once you're laying on the ground, just take a moment. Take that in. What does it feel like to be now laying down toward the end of our practice compared to how you were feeling in the beginning? Inhale your right leg up, and then bring your knee into your chest. Half in relieving pose. Your left leg should be energetic with your toes to the sky, and then we're going to do a slight twist. So you can move your hips over to the right slightly if need be to make a little space, and then you're going to cross your right knee over into a twist. If you are not able to keep your crossed shoulder down, which in this case is your right shoulder, that's okay. Don't put your knee down quite as far. For me, I don't have a prop handy, even though I should, so I'm going to kind of hold my knee here and my shoulder will remain on the ground. If you don't have to have a special prop, you can just use anything that's around, a book, a candlestick, a jug of milk, whatever you have that can prop up your knee during this posture to make sure you stay in alignment. Keep breathing. Exhale. Very slowly bring your right knee back into the chest. Be mindful if you moved your hips over. I always make sure that I put my left foot up and switch myself back to that center position, because you don't want to be moving all the way right to all the way left if you need to make space for your other side. Right leg goes down, left leg into the sky, and then left leg into the chest. One breath here. And exhale. Right leg is engaged. And then if you need to, slowly move your hips over very carefully, and then stretch your knee, keeping it bent over to the other side. Same rules apply. 1 or 2 magazines, a prop if you were smarter than me and put them close by, a pillow. It doesn't have to be anything hard, it can be soft. I think I said a jug of milk, which is quite a hilarious image to imagine you all with a jug of milk under your knee. Inhale. Exhale. Reset. Inhale. And exhale. And bring your left knee back into your chest slowly. Again, use your right foot on the ground to reset yourself kind of back to the center if that's what you need. Bring both knees into the body. Roll slightly right and left on the small of your back, maybe even a little bit in a circle. Kind of do 2 to the left, maybe 2 to the right. Really just kind of lengthening and loosening as we prepare for our Shavasana. Bring everything tight, tight, tight to the middle. Lift your neck up off the ground. Bring everything in. Squeeze and hug. And then release yourself back onto the earth to be supported for our Shavasana pose. You can return your breath to its natural cadence. Palms should be facing up, eyes are softly closed. Your hips should be turned out so that they're falling to their natural tendency, and then you should sink another inch into the floor. What does that take? Is it in your neck? Is it in your hips? Is it in your arms? What needs to be surrendered? One more level. Continue breathing here in Shavasana, allowing your reset to sink in, allowing yourself to feel the love of this practice that you gave to yourself tonight. Continue breathing, and I will let you know when it's time to come back. Begin to deepen your breath and slowly come back into the room. Begin to bring movement into your hands and your feet, and allow that movement to follow a path back to your center. When you're ready, move on to your favorite side and stay in that fetal position for just a breath. Push yourself up very delicately and slowly, and find a comfortable seated posture with your eyes closed. This practice allowed you to reset, which allows you to find the rest, the compassion, and ultimately the strength for the challenges that lay ahead. Thank yourself for honoring what your body needed today. I hope to see you again. Arms up, inhale. Exhale to heart center. We bow together. Namaste.